So I've just finished playing a decent amount of Sniper Elite 5, and all in all, I've got to say I've definitely had a lot of fun with it. It's been really enjoyable for me. Now, big disclaimer here, this is the first Sniper Elite game that I played in the series, so I know that the game has received mixed reviews, I believe, on Steam currently. So I think a lot of that boils down to previous players of the title being a bit disappointed with what they come up with the latest entry, considering how good some of the previous games were. So for me, coming at it from a slightly different perspective of not having played the previous games, I found it really enjoyable, but I'm probably finding things new and interesting, which older players are kind of used to by this point. So I will say, if you are a new entry to the series like me, you're probably going to find it more enjoyable than what you're seeing on a lot of the reviews. Now, that's not to say that I haven't found any issues with the game. There are definitely some issues, and also a big factor to it is the fact that I picked the game up on Game Pass because I've got that already, so it's kind of essentially free-ish for me. And if you have got Game Pass, I mean, 100% check this game out. Otherwise, I think it's a fairly steep price. It might be like AAA game title price, so I can definitely see myself having a few more gripes if I paid that amount of money for it, with the issues that there are currently. But overall, what do you get with the game? So you've got the campaign, which consists of around 9 missions. Each mission takes at least an hour to complete. I'd say for me, definitely a lot more than that, because I'm kind of just titting around doing random things, exploring different areas, that kind of stuff, trying different tactics, trying different methods of basically killing people. So it takes me a lot longer. You've also got a 10th level, that's a DLC level. Now, you can also run through the campaign in co-op if you've got a buddy that you want to play with. And there's also another game mode called Axis Invasion, which kind of ties into the campaign, brings other people into your campaign. But we'll talk about that in a bit more detail later on. And there's a survival mode and also a multiplayer mode, and those two I haven't yet tried. So in terms of content, I think it's been pretty good. I'm sure there's going to be DLCs down the line which add even more content onto that. And what do you get with each level? So each map is pretty big. It's actually, it takes a while to get around, and they do give you an incentive to explore the map because you can discover optional objectives as you're going around, which can be fun to complete. They're just good ones and not crappy ones. And also you can find different things that help you upgrade your weapons. So the customization in the game is fairly extensive. There aren't too many weapons, but the actual customization of those weapons is fairly extensive. I found myself not doing too much of it because once I find what I like, and for me in these kind of games, there's probably a vice of mine, I do tend to like how my weapons look. It's not so much how they actually perform. So if I think it looks a bit naff, then I won't end up using it. So I enjoyed using the Springfield, getting the Kar 98K, just the classic snipers out there, rather than just creating something that is actually technically the best, but looks a bit odd, looks a bit funky. So customization is pretty good. The objectives tend to be fun. Now, when we come to the gameplay, they have tried to, a big thing is movement. So they've tried to make it so you can kind of traverse different objects, climb up walls, climb up ivy, try to make, you can see it's got a kind of an Assassin's Creed element to it in terms of the movement. However, they've done that on the one hand, and on the other hand, unfortunately, although they've got that, they've constrained you into different routes, and there's certain objects which are just, small ledge and stuff like that, or a slightly inclined hill that you can't get up or get over and move to. So the movement is a bit conflicted in terms of whether it's trying to make it more open and more free for you to move around compared to a more constrained and directed approach. That they just need to sort that out and just decide. I think they're trying to make it a bit more Assassin's Creed-y in terms of movement a little bit, and I don't mind that. That'd be pretty cool if you can move around and climb up, especially with verticality, get up to high sniping points in different ways. That'd be pretty awesome, but they're not quite there. You can see what they're trying to do. They don't do it particularly well. And moving on to the gameplay side of it, so obviously a huge part of the game, huge enjoyment for the game for most people, and kind of a trademark of the series is the sniping and the X-ray element to it, the slow motion, and it's epic. I mean, you get halfway, I'm about halfway through, and I'm still not tired of seeing the X-ray shots. Sometimes you just aim for different areas. It's just funny. There's some funny ones in there. We won't go into those, and it's just a good part of the game. Now, what is a bit of a shame is okay, obviously it's Sniper Elite, you're expecting Sniper. Now maybe because I'm a new entry to the game, and so they're thinking they want to try to change things up a little bit, because previous games might have been extremely Sniper focused, and they might be thinking, okay, let's change things up, let's add a different element to it, let's make more close quarter combat, make that, try and push that a bit more as opposed to the sniper element. So for me, there wasn't quite enough sniping in the game. You kind of push into these close quarter areas where it's just, okay, why would I use a sniper? I just take this. It's fairly punishing. You get hurt pretty easily, even with silencer and stuff like that on, which you know, silencers take a bit of time to unlock, so you've got to find the right workbench on the right mission. So if you don't have a silencer using regular bullets, it's pretty punishing using a sniper. So it tends to be easier just sneaking up on people and just using the melee and just stabbing them, or using your silenced pistol. And I'd get that if, you know, they were thinking people are getting a bit tired of sniping, maybe they want to try something else, and that they actually implement that not too bad a way. It's got a bit of a Hitman feel to it, a bit of a commandos, sneaking around, hiding bodies, that kind of thing, taking people out. But it's Sniper Elite. You know, you want to get into a high vantage point and just start sniping people, and there are times when you do that and it is really fun, but I just don't think they do enough of it. That'd probably be my big criticism of the game, is they don't really do enough of the actual sniping part, which is the bread and butter of Sniper Elite games. But moving on to something which I think is actually really good. Now, this is probably a slightly controversial area. I'm sure some people don't enjoy this aspect, but the Axis invasion, okay, on paper, it's incredible. I really like the idea. So the idea is that there's a different person, a random online person that can join your game on the side of the Axis and act as a sniper hunting you down. Now, obviously you can play Axis, if you actively play Axis Invasion, you can do that role and be the person hunting the allied sniper. But if you're just doing your campaign and you've got Axis Invasion enabled, then they just pop into your game at different points and try and take you out, basically. So it's kind of, you're going through the mission as per usual, but you know there's a human sniper there somewhere trying to take you out. So as I say, to me on paper, that's a really cool idea. And how does it actually get implemented? I'd say most of the time you're just seeing someone sprinting around trying to find you, not being very snipery at all, and you end up just machine gunning them. Or I actually bayoneted one guy who just sprinted around the corner into me, and I just got my bayonet out and just stabbed him, and that was the end of that. So there's not too, I haven't had like a proper sniper off, which sounds really cool, where you're both trying to hide, but we're both trying to find decent positions and take each other out. It's been a bit more frantic than that, a bit more chaotic. And I don't know if as the game progresses and people get a bit better at it, or a bit more used to it, that you might get some more slightly better sniper battles. Now, what I don't like, and I think it's the case, they might have changed this in an update, is I think you get less experience if you turn Axis Invasion off. I think that you shouldn't be, if you don't want to play that, you should be allowed to just play the campaign however the hell you want. If you just want to play it on your own, that's fine. I also think that I've done, this isn't shown off, I think it's overpowered on the Axis side. So I've done about 10 of them, and I don't think I haven't lost one. It's partly some of that's because the people I've been playing have just been making a lot of noise and doing that kind of stuff. Because when someone joins, when you get the notification that Axis Invasion is happening, if you're on the Allied side, I personally just start being really stealthy, because I don't want to alert the player to where I am. I prefer to just be sneaking around. But some people are just using their SMG, just going full Scarface, just nailing people, so it's really obvious where they are. You just go to them and take them out. But it is definitely stacked in the favour of the Axis team. I think they need to just balance that a little bit, give the Allied a bit more of an advantage compared to the Axis side. So yeah, Axis Invasion, a bit controversial. Some people don't really like it, and I can understand why. You shouldn't get punished for turning it off. Me personally, on paper, I love it. In actuality, it's still fun, even though it's chaotic. You occasionally get a good sniper battle, which is really fun. So it's definitely got a lot of potential. I definitely really like the fact they put that in there. Yeah, just trying to think, what else have we got? Story, it's pretty crap, to be honest. There's some decent cutscenes. I mean, as soon as I saw the first cutscene, I was like, yeah, this story is just not going to be good. And it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not kind of a broody like war game, that kind of thing. It's fairly light-hearted with the X-ray staff and all that. So, you know, it doesn't take itself too seriously. I'm not sure what you'd expect from the campaign. I was never going to expect something, you know, extremely gripping and enthralling. So yeah, the story-wise, it's pretty naff. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I have enjoyed it. I'd definitely like to see more sniping elements to it, but I still actually do enjoy the sneaking around and taking people out, that kind of thing. The AI is woeful. I will say that. They just do some very just stupid things, but I still enjoy the sneaky element to it. It's just, you know, it's called Sniper Elite. I'm expecting more sniper elements. It's a bit too punishing using the sniper at the moment. There's at least plenty of different settings you can change to customize your experience, make it a bit easier for you if you want the enemy to be less aware, which probably would make it a bit more reasonable to use sniping. You can do that, but there's still, in terms of actual sniping positions, there aren't that many. There's a few like set ones, which is clear for that. They're like, okay, you can go here. They usually put a sniper on the ground for you to take, and it's obvious, okay, start sniping now. But I prefer them to be a bit less fixed and determined for you. I prefer you to be able to find your own ones a bit easier and just find some like unique ones a bit better, rather than just having set points, which is like, okay, now start sniping. But all in all, I've had a good time with it. Yeah, on the sneaky elements as well, I enjoyed them. Axis Invasion definitely adds a lot of tension to the game, which I really enjoy. It'd be incredibly fun doing co-op. Yeah, that's one thing about Axis Invasion. When I played against a co-op, 2 guys that were on the Allies side, as I was the Axis, that seemed a lot better. It seemed a bit more fair having 2 of them against 1. That's the kind of balance issue that you got currently. But all in all, I've enjoyed it. If you've got it on Game Pass, I would definitely recommend getting it because it's kind of free. If you're going to buy it out and out, I'd probably maybe wait a little bit and see what updates they can do just to, you know, correct some of the issues they've got. Although some of them are pretty core in terms of like movement, I'm not sure they're going to be able to do anything to that. But if they've got any ways they can make sniping a bit less punishing and stuff like that, and maybe wait for them to see what updates they do and then buy the game, or wait for it to go on sale. But yeah, that's it for this one. I enjoyed it. I've had a lot of fun with it. I can understand why people haven't enjoyed it, especially people who've played previous Sniper Elite titles. But for me, really enjoyable, worth checking out. Definitely got Game Pass, and maybe on sale if you don't have Game Pass. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.